Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English with Arthur and Emily. I'm Emily.
And I'm Arthur. Hey there, friends. How's everyone doing today?
We're so happy you're here with us. You know, Arthur, something funny happened to me at the coffee shop yesterday.
Oh, do tell.
Well, I was waiting in line, and this person in front of me just turned to the barista and said, "Give me a large coffee." Just like that. No, please, no, could you, nothing. And I noticed the barista's face just changed.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's interesting, isn't it? The same request, but how we say it can completely change how people respond to us.
Exactly. And that's actually what we wanted to chat with you all about today. We're going to explore how to make polite requests in English together.
And this is something that honestly, even native speakers sometimes struggle with. So, whether English is your first language or you're learning it, we're all in this together, figuring out the best ways to communicate.
Right. So today, we'll look at different ways to ask for things, from casual situations with friends to more formal settings like the workplace. And Arthur, let's be real, you've definitely had some awkward moments with this too, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely. I remember when I first started my job, I was so nervous about sounding too direct or too formal. I once asked my boss, would you possibly, perhaps, maybe consider if it might be okay to... Embarrassed, I was so overly polite that she just laughed and said, Arthur, just ask me.
See? That's the thing. There's a balance. We can be too direct or too indirect.
So let's start with something simple. Emily, let's say we're friends and you need to borrow my phone charger. How would you ask me?
Oh, easy. I'd probably say, "Hey, Arthur, can I borrow your charger?" Or even just, "Can I use your charger real quick?"
Perfect. That's totally fine between friends. But now let's say we're in an office and you need to ask a colleague you don't know very well to cover your shift. How does that change?
Okay. So with a colleague, I'd probably say, "Hey, I'm really sorry to ask, but could you possibly cover my shift on Friday? I have a family emergency."
See, notice what Emily did there? She added could you instead of can you, and she also added possibly, which makes it even softer. Plus, she gave a reason, which shows respect for the other person's time.
Yeah, and that's what we're exploring today. These little words and phrases that make such a big difference. So let's dive in together, shall we?
Let's do it. So, first up, the difference between can and could. Both are correct, but they have different feelings.
Right. Can you help me is direct. It's not rude, but it's straightforward. Could you help me is softer, more polite. The past tense form, could, creates a little distance, which actually makes it more polite.
That's such an interesting thing about English, isn't it? Using the past tense to be more polite in the present.
I know. It's like we're being less direct by making it more hypothetical. Could you feels like, would it be possible for you to? Whereas can you is more like, are you able to?
Exactly. And then we have would you mind? This one is confusing a lot of people because of how we answer it.
Oh, yes, this is a tricky one. Okay, so Arthur, let's practice. Would you mind opening the window?
No, not at all. Or no, I don't mind.
Right. So we answer with no when we're willing to do it because we're saying, no, I don't mind, not yes, I'll do it. This confuses people all the time.
It confused me for years. I kept thinking, wait, should I say yes because I'm agreeing or no because I don't mind?
And that's totally normal. The key is to remember, would you mind is asking if something bothers you. So no means it doesn't bother you, so you'll do it.
Now, let's talk about formality levels because this is where it gets really interesting. Emily, imagine you need to ask your company's CEO for a meeting. How would you phrase that?
Ooh, okay. So I definitely wouldn't say, "Can I talk to you?" That's way too casual. I'd probably write an email saying, I was wondering if you might have time for a brief meeting to discuss the marketing proposal. Would next Tuesday work for you?
Perfect. Notice she used I was wondering if you might. That's a really polite way to introduce a request. It's indirect, which in formal situations is actually more respectful.
Yeah, and might instead of can or could. Might is even softer than could.
So we have this scale, right? From most direct to can you, then could you, then would you be able to, and then I was wondering if you might be able to.
Oh, and we can add even more polite layers with phrases like if it's not too much trouble, or when you get a chance, or if possible.
Right. So let's create some examples together. I'll start with a direct request, and Emily, you make it more polite. Ready?
Challenge accepted.
Okay. Give me that report by Friday.
Could you send me that report by Friday, if possible?
Good. Even better, would you be able to send me that report by Friday? I know you're busy, but it would really help me out.
Ooh, I like that. Adding, I know you're busy shows you're acknowledging their time. That's empathy, which is a huge part of politeness.
Exactly. Politeness isn't just about the words, it's about showing we understand the other person's perspective. Let's try another one. Tell me when you're free.
Could you let me know when you're free?
Or even, when you get a chance, could you let me know your availability?
See, when you get a chance is such a useful phrase. It shows you're not demanding immediate action.
Now, here's something important we should mention. Sometimes being too polite can actually be confusing or sound insincere.
Yes, agreed. Like my coffee shop story at the beginning. If that person had said, I was wondering if you might possibly be able to consider perhaps making me a large coffee when you have a moment, the barista would think they were being sarcastic.
Exactly. Context is everything. With friends, being overly formal can seem like you're joking or being sarcastic. With strangers asking for small things, there's a middle ground.
So let's talk about different scenarios and what sounds natural to you. Arthur, asking a stranger for directions. What sounds right to you?
I'd probably say, excuse me, could you help me? I'm looking for the train station.
Perfect. Not too formal, not too casual. You used excuse me to get their attention politely, then could you for the request.
What about asking a neighbor to turn down loud music at night? That's a delicate one.
Ooh, that is tricky because you don't want to start a conflict. I'd probably say, hey, I'm so sorry to bother you, but would you mind turning the music down a bit? I have to work early tomorrow.
That's good because you apologized first, you gave a reason, and you used would you mind, which is polite, plus a bit instead of demanding complete silence.
Exactly. And here's another tip we can all use. Adding please obviously helps, but where you put it matters.
Oh, tell us more about that.
Well, could you help me versus could you please help me versus could you please help me? They're all polite, but putting please in the middle, could you please, sounds slightly more formal.
I never thought about that. So, could you please help me is more casual and natural in conversation, while could you please send me the files sounds more professional, maybe in an email.
Yes, and here's another thing. In person, our tone of voice makes a huge difference. We can say, can you help me? And with a smile and friendly tone, it's perfectly polite. But in writing, without that tone, we need to add more polite words.
That's such an important point. This is why emails sometimes need more formality than face to face conversations. We don't have body language and tone to convey our friendliness.
Right. So, for our listeners working in English speaking environments, when you write emails, lean towards being more polite rather than less. Better to be slightly too formal than to accidentally sound rude.
Okay, let's practice a few more scenarios together. What about asking your roommate to do their dishes?
Oh, this is every roommate struggle. Okay, so with a roommate, we're somewhere between friend and colleague, right?
Right. Close enough to be casual, but you're living together, so you want to keep things pleasant.
I'd probably say, hey, when you get a chance, could you wash your dishes? The sink's getting pretty full.
That's good. You used when you get a chance, you stated the problem without being accusatory, and could you is polite but not overly formal.
What about asking your teacher for an extension on an assignment?
Ooh, that's important for students. Okay, so this is definitely formal territory. I'd say, Professor Smith, I'm having some difficulties with the essay deadline. Would it be possible to have an extension until Friday? I want to make sure I can do my best work.
Perfect. You addressed them formally, explained the situation, asked with, would it be possible, and even explained why, showing you care about quality. That's excellent.
And here's something crucial. If someone says no to your polite request, accept it gracefully. No problem, I understand. Thank you anyway.
Yes, being polite isn't just about asking, it's about handling the response too. It shows maturity and respect.
Now, we've been talking a lot about formal situations, but let's remember that with close friends and family, being overly polite can actually create distance.
That's true. With my best friend, I just say, hey, can you grab me a water when we're hanging out? If I said, would you mind possibly getting me a water if it's not too much trouble? She'd think something was wrong.
Right. She'd be like, Emily, are you okay? Are you mad at me?
Exactly. So we need to match our language to the relationship. Close friends, more casual. Strangers or professional settings, more polite. People we're getting to know, somewhere in the middle.
And here's the thing we want everyone to remember. Making mistakes with this is totally normal and okay. Native speakers mess this up too. We've all been too direct or too formal at times.
Absolutely. The fact that you're thinking about it and trying to communicate thoughtfully, that already shows respect and good intentions. People appreciate that.
So let's recap what we've explored today. We've got our scale from casual to formal, can you to could you, to would you mind, to would you be able to I was wondering if you might be able to.
We've talked about adding softening phrases like, if possible, when you get a chance, if it's not too much trouble.
We've covered different scenarios, friends, colleagues, strangers, supervisors, teachers, and how our language changes based on the relationship.
And most importantly, we've talked about how politeness is really about showing respect and empathy, not just following rules.
Exactly. It's about making the other person feel valued and not imposed upon. That's the heart of it.
Exciting! So we have a question for all of you today. This is our question of the day.
Here it is. Think about a time when someone made a request that felt too direct or maybe too formal. What did they say and how did it make you feel? Or share a situation where you need to make a polite request. How would you phrase it?
We'd love to hear your experiences and examples in the comments. It helps all of us learn from each other.
And if you found this conversation helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We release new episodes every week where we explore English together as friends.
Share this with anyone who's learning English or even native speakers who want to improve their communication skills. We're all learning together.
Thanks so much for spending this time with us today, everyone.
We really appreciate you. Keep practicing, be patient with yourself, and remember, every conversation is a chance to learn.
Until next time, take care.
See you soon, friends!